Greetings, friends, and welcome to another ministry of the Victory Hour. My name is Jim Gallagher. I'm the pastor at Clayville Assembly. Clayville Assembly is responsible for bringing to you this YouTube channel. It's our joy and privilege to do it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And by the way, I appreciate people that make comments in the comment section. I almost want to apologize I don't respond to so many of you because I want to. You got to understand, I'm busy. They said, you can't make time for us. I can't, and that's true. I'm only one man. I'm only one person. And I have a job. It's a full-time job and a secular work. I preach, my sermons are usually over an hour. 2 of them on Sundays. And they're not the same sermon, like to 2 different audiences. No. They're 2 separate sermons. I prepare those sermons every week. And then we have a prayer meeting and Bible study on Wednesday night, and I prepare those lessons every week. And I make my 2 YouTubes every week. And I've got a family and a house to maintain that was built in the 1800s. There's always something to do. And so, look, I'm a busy guy. I did lots of stuff to do, but I really appreciate, when there's some folks, they make encouraging statements in the comment section. And, I really do appreciate them. And once in a while I will respond, but usually I'm responding because I see something negative. And, you're always going to get negative comments. That's okay. But sometimes when the negativity represents something that would be very widespread in the Christian community and held by many, and they're actually echoing other people saying the same thing. Well, sometimes I want to respond to that because there's enough misunderstanding there that something ought to be said, that kind of thing. But even then, that's hard for me to get to it. It's just, you should see my email box. Right now, I think I've got over 4,000 emails I have not read. 4,000. I mean, a lot of them are junk ones, right? A lot of them are junk, no doubt. But, I just wish there was, I wish there was another way. We made a mistake, I guess. We put our website email address on our Clayville Assembly website. And that was a mistake up front. And that just opened up the doors to all these marketers, and I just got so much junk. And for some reason, the program I got, I can't delete whole pages. Look at the whole page. There's nothing I'm saving here. Delete the page. I got to delete it one at a time and put a sledgehammer to that computer, But then again, without the computer, you and I, we can't be sharing these thoughts, you see. So I do appreciate your comments. Don't think I don't read them. I do, but don't take offense if I don't respond. I really, really wish I could. It's my nature to want to do it. I just want you to understand that. I feel bad about it. I do. But I know I'm doing the best I can. Okay? The new heavens and the new earth. Boy, that sun's coming in. Hold on. The sun's setting. Block it. I'll disappear on you in the midst of the glory of the sun. Sun setting, and then it comes right in my window. So the new heavens and new earth. When we read about the new heavens and new earth in Revelation 21, almost every Christian thinks, well, okay, that's talking about the eternal state. It's after Revelation 20. Must be chronological, right? And Revelation 20 is about the first resurrection, the 1,000 years where Satan's bound, the second resurrection, the great white throne judgment, and all the wicked are destroyed. All right? And Satan. All right? Next thing, Revelation 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heavens and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. Okay, and on it goes. He said, well, that is definitely the eternal estate after the judgment. This is about, you say, Pastor Gallagher, have to be about when the Lord destroys the physical heavens and earth at judgment. Then he destroys the wicked and Satan, and he makes a physical new heavens and earth. And this is us dwelling in the new Jerusalem, in the new heavens and earth. No, no, no. I'm trying to show you that. Without answering all the details, because I'm just trying to get you to see a basic principle that is inescapable, and then the other part of the details we can work on later. So I'm going to show you that Revelation 21 is not about our eternal state after a future judgment and resurrection. It's not what it's about. What it's talking about does entail what we will experience in the eternal state. I'll have to explain that at another time. There's no question. Revelation 21 is about the new heavens and new earth. Okay? And there's no question 99.9% of Christians think that that is a reference to the eternal state after the general judgment, or if you're a dispensationalist, the second resurrection and the great white throne judgment. It's all done, and now it's just heaven forever with the Lord. New heavens and new earth, new Jerusalem. And there's no more tears, there's no more crying. This is perfection forever. Eternity. It's not what you're thinking it is. And so I brought you last time to Isaiah 65. And Isaiah 65 and 66 are really like the only texts in the whole Old Testament that are directly prophesying of the new heavens and new earth. Now, the new heavens and new earth is referenced elsewhere, but it's not, well, you'll see what I mean, because I'll bring you another text today. But look, Revelation 21 is built on Isaiah 65. There's no question. And if I could go through the whole of Isaiah 65 with you, that would even be more obvious. But I can't take time to do that now. I'm just trying to get you to see the main thrust. And we'll go back later, and examine some of the details. Not today, not tomorrow. Well, not the next posting either. I just want you to see this new heavens and new earth is not what you're thinking it is. So go to Isaiah 65. And we talked about this yesterday. And starting at verse 17, Isaiah starts speaking and prophesying about the new heavens and new earth. Verse 17, For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth. You know what? I read this for you last time, Monday. I'm just going to read through the whole balance of this chapter, 17 to 25, without my commentary. And I want you to, because you may, when I make commentary and I talk about it, you may think, well, he's skipping some things. I want you to hear it all together so you know that what we're talking about is the new heavens and new earth. So let me read this for you. Bear with me. Verse 17, For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad, and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that hath not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old. But the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them. And they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord. End of chapter. That's the prophet Isaiah describing the nature of the age of the new heavens and the new earth and the new Jerusalem. Now, if you're a futurist, you get big problems. Verse 17, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former, the old heavens and earth, shall not be remembered nor come into mind. But ye shall be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. What did he create? He just said it in the sentence before. I create new heavens and new earth. But ye shall be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem. Now, wait a minute. Is he creating the heavens and the new heavens and new earth, or Jerusalem? Same thing. He just finished in the first half of this chapter destroying Old Covenant Jerusalem. Now he's creating the New Jerusalem. Doesn't that make sense? Because he's creating the New Jerusalem at the time of the new heavens and new earth. The new heavens and new earth is not talking about the solar system and the grass and the trees and the plants and the lakes and the seas and the people and the animals. That's not what it's talking about. The new heavens and new earth is a metaphoric representation of God's covenant people and the covenant that he has with them. He will destroy the old covenant and the nature of his relationship with his people, old covenant Israel. He'll create a new heavens and earth, a new covenant people that is on different and better terms, where there's no more tears and no more crying. The new Jerusalem. You do realize, you and I, if we're in Christ, we are the new Jerusalem. The new Jerusalem is not a cube city that comes down. Oh, it's described that way in Revelation. Yeah, we'll get to that. Not today, though. I get it. I'm not mocking you. It's just that, I was as blind as everybody else. I was very sure of myself, and then I come to find out, oh man, I was missing so much here. So, don't take offense. Now I've been at this, I've been understanding these things for, some years now. It's probably been about 7 years. And so now, I have to chuckle at myself when I think about it, because I was in the same boat as many of you are. I understand it. But look about it. He's talking about the new Jerusalem and the new heavens and the new earth and the creation of the new Jerusalem. And I rejoice in Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem. He just destroyed the old. And joy in my people, the Israel of God in the new covenant. And the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. Well, Christians still cry today. Yeah, but pay attention to something. There's no more weeping and there's no more crying, right? In the new heavens and new earth, in the new Jerusalem, in the new heavens and new earth, there's no more crying. Now watch this. There shall be no more thence an infant of days or an old man that hath not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old. But the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed. So wait a minute. People will die in the new heavens and new earth? In the new Jerusalem? Yes, they will. But wait, he just finished saying, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her. In Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem. Nor the voice of crying, no more weeping. Then immediately he speaks about children dying. Now, they're dying at 100 years old, and they're considered children at 100. Nevertheless, that sounds pretty glorious. 100 years old, you're still like a little child? That sounds like a good age. Well, I'm not so sure you're supposed to take that literally. We could talk about that some other time. It's not the point. We have to go that far into it. There's death in the new heavens and new earth. And according to all futurists, as far as I know, there's no death in the new heavens and new earth. There is here, though. But wait a minute. If there's death, how can there be no more weeping and crying? I mean, if the wicked have already been judged, it's just the righteous in the new heavens and new earth. It's just the righteous. But their little babies could die prematurely at 100 years old. Well, okay, but still, there's death. Is there no crying over the loss of loved ones? In the new heavens and new earth, if that's eternity, do God's people grow cold when loved ones leave them? And, no big deal. No. See? You realize there's something wrong? Oh, by the way, I can make a similar point from Revelation 21. Let's go back to Revelation 21 for a moment. Humor me, please. How are we doing? 17 minutes. Okay. We're 17 minutes in. 18 minutes in. Revelation 21. Go back there. I got to go back there. So, verse 1, and I saw the new heavens and new earth, the first heaven and the first earth passed away, and there was no more sea. And I saw John, the holy city, the new Jerusalem. So we have the new Jerusalem, which they say is a cube. It comes down from the sky, and it's a perfect cube, and it's this big, this big, this big, and it's all very literal. And this is the eternal estate. There's no more crying. There's no more tears. There's no more death. Right? There's no more sinners. They were all judged at the great white throne judgment in chapter 20. Correct? Okay, but here's the thing. The New Jerusalem, as described in chapter 21 and 22 of Revelation, it talks about the New Jerusalem. Let's see, let me find what I'm looking for here. Speaking of the New Jerusalem, in the new heavens and new earth, chapter 22, we read, verse 13, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city of the New Jerusalem, in the new heavens and new earth. For outside the city, are dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Wait a minute. according to all of futurism, there's no dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, and murderers, idolaters, and those that make a lie anymore. They were all destroyed in Revelation 20, the great white throne judgment. There's no sinners in the new heavens and new earth. There's no sinners outside the New Jerusalem. Yes, there is, according to Revelation 21 itself. You do see, there's a fundamental issue here that has to be dealt with. Something is very seriously wrong with the church's interpretation of the new heavens and new earth. On the outside of it, there are doors, unless he's talking about the ones that were destroyed in the great white throne judgment and cast in a lake of fire. Is that what he's talking about? But they don't exist anymore. He destroyed them. They're a non-issue. But outside the New Jerusalem, there's dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, sinners. Well, we go to Isaiah 65, from which Revelation 21 is drawn, without question. And we see that people in verse 20 will die. Die in the new heavens and new earth. In the New Jerusalem. What do you make about the children will be 100 years old? So are we going to live to 1,000 years? No, you know what? You want to talk about baby details that I know there's an interest in that, but let's get the fundamentals before we start talking details like that. The New Jerusalem cannot be the eternal state. How can it be? There's old men in it. There's young babies. Where do these babies come from? Oh, verse 23. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. These are women giving birth. And they will not labor in vain and bring forth for trouble. And their children are the blessed of the Lord. They're giving birth. Oh, I thought the eternal state, there's no marriage and giving in marriage. And there's no, okay, the different, there's more than one way to understand that. But be that as it may, no, but we're not talking about the eternal state when we're talking about the new heavens and new earth. There's no getting around that. Now you say, well, but how are you going to make this work out? Let's just agree that we've got a major shift in our eschatological thinking if we are to agree with both Revelation 21 and Isaiah 65. And even if you didn't have Isaiah 65, you'd be contradicting Revelation 21, because outside the New Jerusalem, there are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers. I thought those were all judged and complete finally at the great white throne judgment in the chapter before. See, I know I'm pushing you into a corner, I'm boxing you in, and there's nowhere to go. Well, maybe I am doing that for some, but I do it in love. I really do. That's my motive. These truths brought so much blessing to me because they enabled me to see and to understand how Jesus could have been right when he said 2,000 years ago to the people standing in front of him, there be some standing here which will not taste of death till you see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Or when Jesus said to his disciples, you will not finish going over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. Or when the apostle in his epistle says, the end of all things is at hand. Or when Jesus said, this generation will not pass till all these things be fulfilled. And he was talking about coming in the clouds with his angels and with a shout, and gathering his elect from the four winds. This generation? Women giving birth? Well, by the way, if women are giving birth, Is there marriage in heaven? Now, a lot of Christians are thinking, well, but there's no giving and taking of marriage in heaven, so there'd be no birth. Oh, are there births without marriage? So if this is heaven, is this like one big, and excuse me for saying this, but I say it with mockery, is heaven supposed to be one big orgy, one big Woodstock affair? No. This is talking about the age of the new covenant, which we are in now. This is not the eternal state. This, what we're living in now, is not the eternal state for us as individuals. I mean, in a sense, we're already in the eternal state because at conversion through regeneration, we received eternal life. Oh boy, that gets into another subject about the nature of what happens at death, according to the Bible. I hope you can see there's so much to learn. If these women are given birth, you can be sure they're married to husbands. This isn't a free-for-all. This isn't like, the Muslims, and they're going to have what? How many virgins when they go to heaven? So it's one big wild party of sensuality. That's not what heaven is. You can take your highest ecstasy in the sensual sense of the physical body. It will not compare to the glory of the fullness of our understanding in being in the presence of God and of his Christ, in perfection with knowledge, surrounded by holiness and the glory of God. All the former joys and glories will just fall like nothing in that presence. Now, I tell you what, I'm out of time. There's so much more. Without going to any other passages, there's so much more we can dig out of Isaiah 65. There's so much more we can dig out of Revelation 21 to continue to prove this point I'm making right now. But I'm going to let all that go. I'm not even going to touch it. You know why? Because I just want you to see there's a basic raw skeletal structure here. And that's all I want you to see. In the new heavens and new earth, there is death. There are old men. There's planting houses. There's planting vineyards. People grow old. People die. Women give birth. And there are sinners on the outside of the New Jerusalem. I'll give you a little hint. You and I, by being in the ecclesia, the body of Christ, what people call the church, that's the New Jerusalem. Not the external church, where sinners sit in pew, pretend they believe in Jesus, but they've never had a regeneration experience. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do next time. We're going to look at another passage. And when I get done going through that basic raw skeletal structure of the new heavens and new earth, and you'll say, it's true. But what about back in Isaiah 65, the wolf and the lamb will feed together, and what about these children dying 100 years old? They still die, but 100 years old, you're still a child, and you want some detail. But that's like, those kind of details there's answers for them, but it's put the cart before the horse. You may want to know how to solve a certain algebraic problem, but if we've made mistakes in our addition and subtraction tables, if we've made mistakes in our multiplication and division memorization, but only a few here and there, but they change everything, the equation comes out wrong. You say, well, okay, but when we're doing the algebraic problem, wait a minute, let's just go back and fix addition and subtraction before we talk about more algebraic problems. Well, how come it came so bad? Well, because of addition and subtraction. So let's set aside the algebra for now. That's what I'm trying to do. You might want to get sucked into all these things that you're thinking in these passages, but I'm trying to set those aside. So let's get to the basics. And once we get those down, then we can come back here. And I'll do that. So next time, we're going to move on beyond Isaiah 65, move on beyond Revelation 21, so much more to give you in those two passages. And we're going to look at yet another text, referencing the new heavens and new earth, and it's a blockbuster, and it'll knock you over. It'll knock you over so hard, it'll make your mother cry. No, I hope your mother doesn't cry, but maybe she needs to. Maybe you need to get knocked over. It'll be the most blessed knocking over you ever had, other than the one at conversion. Look, I got to go. This is Jim Gallagher reminding you, in the words of our blessed Lord and Savior, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.